We're going to be going through a few of the more advanced features with Office 2016 that, in my opinion, make it much more user-friendly and helpful to use on multiple devices. Because one thing that we do now that we didn't used to do is we transition from multiple devices, whether we're at work or at home. So we might have a Chromebook for this class period, and we might transition over to a desktop at home. You know, it's one of those things that we need to be able to have access to a variety of devices and use the tools that we're actually creating our content in. So I'm going to use PowerPoint as an example. And the main reason for PowerPoint is not because it's so much better than Google Slides, but it's the one that to me gives me more features if I do more advanced things. Now, don't get me wrong with Google Slides. Google Slides and PowerPoint do basically the same thing. But with PowerPoint, we do get more features for doing advanced slideshows. Most people don't use these features, though. If you're just putting in animations and transitions, it's not a big deal. Keep using Google Slides. They're identical in how they act. But for instance, when I use Mix, I can upload different things to an Office Mix. So I can actually publish these things to the web. You know, it gives me a lot more functionality whenever I'm doing a presentation. But like I said, most people don't use Mix, and it's one of those things that if you're not using that, then there's no need just to switch just for the sake of switching. So I'm not trying to talk you into using PowerPoint over Google, but you do need to be aware of some of these things with Office 2016 that you can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save as, except instead of saving it in my computer, I'm going to save to OneDrive. All of this is made possible with your OneDrive through your Office 365 account. And so I'm going to save it as a test presentation. And it's actually not anywhere on my computer. So if I click on my files down here, I won't find it. It's not on there. It's in my Microsoft OneDrive, which is cloud-based. It's like Google Drive, except it's Microsoft's version. And the neat thing about this is once I have it saved to OneDrive, let's say I want to change this test 1. I'm just going to hit save so I make sure the changes are saved. I can actually edit this from any device as long as I'm connected to the internet. So what I'm going to do is edit this exact one on a Chromebook. So I'm going to go ahead and close it out because I decided it was time to go home. I get home and what I have to work on is a Chromebook. I don't have a desktop and I don't have a laptop at home. I have something that is cheaper and it works. So what I'm going to do is actually edit the title to this. And I know all you're seeing is my desktop because now I'm on a completely different device and I am going to change the title. So it says my changes have been saved. Now I come back to work the next day and I want to work on that PowerPoint presentation again. It's important to know that I do have to pull it up in PowerPoint. I can't go to my documents to find it. I got to know exactly what I was creating. And what I would suggest doing, if you click on this, it's a possibility it might pull up an older version of that PowerPoint. If that works, then it's fine. So I have test 2, it obviously worked. But one thing you can also do, if you don't find it there, and instead of this today or the recents, you can click on open other presentations. You can go to your OneDrive and you can see all of your presentations there. So now you've seen essentially all I had to do was save it into my OneDrive and I can edit any of the information from anywhere as long as I'm on the internet. Now, if I want to have an actual copy of this on my computer, it does make it pretty simple to do that too, because I can hit save as and just save it onto my computer. Once I do that though, I'll lose the ability to go back and forth from the online version to that. So it's important to know that probably if you want a copy of it, do the final version. Don't do the one that you're editing, because if you change things and then re-download, I think it could make a little bit of a mess. But I do feel like OneDrive is a very important thing to use. And in fact, if you were using Microsoft Documents, it's one of those things that might be more helpful than actually using your network drive, your H drive that you have through Stanley County Schools. All of these features are also available for any of the Microsoft Office products. So I know I just went through PowerPoint, but that's one of those things that it will go across any of the Office applications. If you have any questions about any of these functionalities within Office 2016, please don't hesitate to ask your instructional technology personnel.